All right, hey everyone. Today I was going to talk about a certain anime that turns 7 years old today, or yesterday actually, because I saw a funny tweet. We'll talk about that tomorrow, though. I'll put a pin in that because today has been ridiculous in terms of baseball. The headline, clickbait. The Roki Sasaki situation is crazy, more like stupid. So this morning we got a little report that was like Roki Sasaki will be deciding where he plays, whatever yada yada this week, and it's like okay, cool, because he has a deadline of January 23rd because he's being posted from Japan, so you have a 45-day window to decide where you're going to play. So first, we heard the Giants have been informed that they are out on Roki Sasaki, or like that they are. What was the exact wording? Yeah, they are out on Roki Sasaki. Not of their choosing, of course, but Sasaki's camps. And it's like, okay, cool. And I do just want to flash back and, when this whole thing first started, the two teams that everyone was like, well, this is pretty obvious, was, of course, the Dodgers and the Padres. Those were the two teams. So, Giants out. Okay, whatever, sure. Then it was Diamondbacks, I think. I saw Diamondbacks were out, and it's like, okay, cool. Then we got the Yankees are out, according to, and it's like, we're in a reality show. We're in Survivor, but I don't know who Jeff is in that metaphor that, but every hour we're getting an eliminated team. And it's just so stupid because this whole situation has been like so obvious that he's going to be a Dodger, and oh no, the other teams have a chance. What are you talking about? Like, I remember the agent came out and said, like, it's unsportsmanlike of the reporters and teams to be saying that there's an underhand or under the table deal with the Dodgers. And it's like, but it's so obvious. We're not that stupid, And I'll go into another, kind of real, the negative aspect about it in a second. But then it was like Yankees are out. Then it was like all these other teams are out. Cubs are out, of course. And then the last three teams are the Dodgers, the Padres, and then the Blue Jays, which he's not going to be a Toronto Blue Jay. I won't put money on it, but I'd be very shocked if he was a Toronto Blue Jay. But I do just feel bad for Blue Jays fans because they've had a bad go of it with free agents and just stuff like this, where they're always third place, But anyway, he's going to be a Dodger, probably. He is visiting in San Diego, apparently. He's in San Diego right now, which I don't really think that has anything to do with anything. Like, maybe he'll be a Padre, and that's still the same thing, where we just knew it was going to be Dodgers and Padres the whole time. But one actual, like, real tangible negative aspect of this whole thing is teams having to back out on their like handshake agreements with some of these Latin players, these young, real international free agents that were kind of just like, hey, so because the way the international free agency works is each team gets a pool of money. They don't just have like what would be theoretical infinite money, or like a Steve Cohen, 300 million, whatever, they have this pool of money that they're allowed to spend on international free agents. And typically that is like Latin players from like Dominican and Puerto Rico and Venezuela, those type of countries. So when you have like I don't want to say that Roki Saki's not a real international free agent, but he's kind of not, like he's only an international free agent because he's so young and he's trying to, come to America early. That all of these teams are sort of backing out of these agreements with some of these young players because they said, well, hey, we can't sign you this year because we have all our money tied up. But next year, maybe 2025 or whatever, this is just an example, we got you, right? But now with this Roki Sasaki situation, all of these teams have had to back out of these deals, and we already saw it once where there was a player that signed with the Pirates instead of the other team that they were going to sign with because of this whole situation, that are getting screwed, and it's really, really bad. And it's all for like Roki Sasaki to have like 30 steak dinners, right? Like he's obviously going to choose the Dodgers or Padres, and we've known that the whole time. But they keep trying to get us to think, they being his camp and his agent and stuff, get you to think that this is a real contest. That this is like, oh, well, you never know. Maybe he'll play with the Cubs. Maybe he'll play in Cincinnati. Like what? Maybe he'll play in Toronto, but not the Yankees. He won't play for the Yankees, but he'll go to Toronto and play for the Blue Jays for sure. Like, it's just ridiculous. They think we're stupid, It's really silly. And half of it is like, man, this is silly. This is just, like, we're at a above average IQ as fans. Like, we know what's going on, But then on the other half, it is like actually damaging to these, young Latin players and actual real international free agents that are getting screwed because, Roki Sasaki, he said he might want to play in Chicago. So they had to, get all these, handshake agreements on because, if he signs, we have to give him that money. And it's just ridiculous. It's silly. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. We'll see what happens in the coming days. I really don't care anymore. Like, if he's a Padre, cool. I still am not going to really like him, as bad as that sounds. Like, it's sad that, like, a lot of the reports and stuff from Japan were true. That, like, he's kind of, because a lot of the media in Japan don't like him because it's seen as him trying to, like, get away, like he's wanted to, like, leave and escape, not escape Japan, but, just come to America a bunch, and he doesn't really have, like, the respect for the NPB, which is the, professional baseball over there. And, that's, of course, a very important thing in Japan. And it is sort of like, I don't know, like if you go join the Dodgers, like, what does that make you, And I don't want to get into that whole, chasing rings and stuff. But, yeah, that's it. We'll see what happens. Don't really care. I guess one last thing. This is one last thing I want to talk about. It's like, a situation like this is so rare and probably will never happen again, where you have this incredible, incredible talent that is young, that you can get for like pretty cheap, and all of it is based on how you can get them to your team. Like, theoretically, there's no money involved. There's no team that has an advantage, or, well, there are, but like, where you can just go, hey, we're going to convince you to play in Baltimore, for example, right? And basically, that situation doesn't and has never really happened before like that. And it's a thing that can change, like, a mid-level franchise forever. Like, think about if, for real, the Cincinnati Reds, a team that's, like, right on the cusp, they have some really great young talent. They've done a couple trades. I think they trade for Brady Singer, right? And then traded Jonathan India away. But they're right there, where you can see the line, you can see, and then an even better example, which is the greatest example, is the Kansas City Royals, where Royals, they just got to the playoffs. They have this amazing talent in Bobby Witt Jr., one of the best players in the league, but they're still just this, like, middle organization. They don't have a lot of money to spend, but they spend it really wisely. Like, last offseason was one of the best offseasons I've ever seen for, like, a mid-level, organization. And imagine that team getting a player like this. That would change the franchise. That would mean, and it's not just all about the money, but it's like this star that you don't have to, draft in the first round, or pay millions and millions and millions of dollars and stuff like that, versus what's going to actually happen, where he joins the team that just won the World Series, that is in no need of starters. They have more starters they can fill a rotation of, and he's just going to be another name in the, in the Dodgers, the 2020s, Dodgers machine, and it's just really sad, because it's like, he's someone that could change many organizations that want to change. Like obviously he could go to the Rockies and they could waste him, but the Rockies don't care about winning. The Royals care about winning. But anyway, that's all I have to say. Really sad. Really, really just upsetting. Just baseball is just, very frustrating. But anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. I'll talk about the anime probably tomorrow.